A company gave every employee an AI assistant. Personal productivity skyrocketed. Individual output doubled in some departments. Not long after, project completion rates were down 15%. Let that sink in. Everyone was faster and the company was slower. How? Because they optimized the parts and broke the machine. Today, optimize individuals or optimize teams. This one reveals things people don't want to see. Let's dig in. Welcome to Binary Business. I'm Will Guidry. Every episode, we take a real business decision, strip out the noise, and run it through a binary filter. Because the best operators know that individual speed means nothing if the team can't finish. Let's get into it. This is the productivity trap that almost nobody talks about. Every AI vendor sells the same story. Give your people AI tools and watch productivity soar. And they're not wrong. Individual productivity does go up. People write faster, analyze faster, draft faster, research faster. On paper, it looks like a revolution. But here's what the productivity dashboards don't show you. Faster individuals inside a slow system just create more bottlenecks, more handoff failures, and more work in progress inventory that sits in queues going nowhere. Think about it like a highway. If you give one car a turbocharger, that car goes faster. If you give every car a turbocharger, the highway still has the same number of lanes, the same on-ramps, and the same traffic lights. You just get faster cars sitting in the same traffic with just a bit more road rage. That's what's happening in most organizations right now. AI made the cars faster. Nobody widened the road. I've seen marketing teams generate 3 times more content with AI, and the design team downstream couldn't keep up. So the content's set in a review queue. Faster content creation, same design bottleneck. The net result, more work in progress, more frustration, same output. The question isn't whether AI should make individuals faster. Of course it should. The question is, should that be your first priority? Or should you optimize how the team works together before you turbocharge the parts? Here's the binary. 2 philosophies, same tools, very different outcomes. Binary 1, optimize individuals. 1 says, start with the individual. Give people AI tools that make their personal output better, faster, and more consistent. Individual gains add up to organizational gains. And there's logic to that. It's bottom-up improvement. You don't need to redesign workflows. You don't need to map team dependencies. You just deploy the tools and let people figure out how to use them in their own work. We worked with an accounting firm where they gave every auditor access to an AI tool for document analysis. Before AI, an auditor could review about 200 pages of financial documents per day. After AI, that number jumped to over 800. That's a 4x improvement at the individual level. Massive. But here's what made it actually work. Auditing is largely individual work. One person reviews the documents. One person reviews the findings. The handoffs are minimal. The dependencies are very low, so 4x individual speed translated almost directly into 4x team output. When the work is independent and the handoffs are minimal, individual optimization is a straight line win. Another example, a freelance copywriting team. 5 writers, each working on separate client accounts. All AI writing tools made each writer roughly twice as productive. Since there was virtually no interdependency, the team's effective capacity doubled. Simple math, no complications. Individual first works when work is mostly independent with a few handoffs, or when individuals' output directly equals team output, or when the bottleneck is individual speed, not coordination, and when roles have clear boundaries and minimal overlap. Binary 0, optimize the teams. Binary 0 says forget individual speed. Optimize how the team operates together. Fix the handoffs, the queues, the dependencies, and the communication gaps. Then add AI to accelerate the system. I worked with a product development team, 12 people across engineering, design, and product management. Leadership gave everyone AI coding assistance and design tools. Individual output went up across the board. But something weird happened. More code was being written, more designs were being created, and the products shipped slower. Why? Because the bottleneck was never coding speed or design speed. The bottleneck was decision making. Product managers weren't approving specs fast enough. Design reviews were happening once a week instead of continuously. Engineers were building features that changed scope mid-sprint because nobody had aligned on requirements. AI made the engineers faster at writing code that was going to change anyway. AI made the designers faster at creating mock-ups that hadn't been approved yet. Faster parts, broken system. When they stepped back and fixed the workflow, daily stand-ups with actual decision authority, async design reviews, shared spec documents with real-time commenting, the team got 40% faster. Then they added AI tools on top of the improved workflow. That's when things really moved. Here's my favorite example. A client services team had 8 people processing client requests. Each person was optimized to the teeth. AI tools for research, AI for drafting responses, AI for scheduling. Individual processing time dropped from 45 minutes to 12 minutes per request. But the average client wait time was still 3 days. 3 days, because the requests were sitting in a shared inbox that nobody owned. 3 people would start working on the same request without knowing. Then 2 would abandon their work when they realized someone else was already on it. They were individually fast and collectively chaotic. I called it the NASCAR pit crew problem. Imagine 5 pit crew members, each the fastest in the world, but nobody assigned positions. They'd all run to the same tire. That's fast, but it's not effective. Team first works when work involves heavy handoffs and dependencies, when the bottleneck is coordination, not individual speed, when multiple people contribute to the same deliverable, and when queue times and wait states are the real friction. If this is hitting home right now, do me a solid. Hit that like button and subscribe. It takes 1 second and helps more operators find signal in all the noise. Let's keep going. Time to run this through the ABCD framework. A is for audience. Who is the audience for the AI investment? The individual or the workflow? Most companies deploy AI with the individual as the audience. Here's your AI copilot. Here's your AI writing tool. Here's your AI productivity booster. It's all individual first by default because individual tools are easier to buy, easier to deploy, and easier to measure. But here's the trap. Individual metrics make everyone feel good while the organization stays stuck. I saw a company celebrate that their sales team was generating 3x more outreach emails with AI, 3 times more emails. The dashboard was green, leadership was absolutely thrilled, and the sales reps were giving high fives. Then someone checked the conversion rate. It had dropped off by half. They were sending 3 times more emails, getting 50% fewer responses per email, and the net result was roughly the same pipeline as before, just noisier. They didn't have a value problem, they had a targeting problem. AI made the volume problem worse by hiding the target problem under a mountain of output. One rep told me, "I'm sending so many emails, I don't even remember who I emailed yesterday." I said, "Do you think the people receiving them feel the same way?" He didn't find that funny, but the VP of sales did. The audience question is this: are you trying to make individuals produce more, or are you trying to make the team deliver more? Because those are different problems with different solutions. B is for build. What does each approach look like when you're building it? Individual first builds are simple. Deploy a tool, give people access, measure personal output, done. But simple isn't always right. Individual first builds miss system level problems. They don't address handoff failures, queuing backlogs, or misaligned priorities. They make each part faster without looking at the whole. Team first builds are harder. You have to map the workflows and identify those bottlenecks, understand dependencies, figure out where work stalls and why, then deploy AI where it creates system level improvement, not just personal speed. Here's a practical example. A team first build for client services operations could look something like this. Step 1, map the request lifecycle from intake to delivery. Identify every handoff, every queue, every wait state. Step 2, find the constraint. Is it intake, routing, processing, review, maybe delivery? Where does the work sit the longest? Step 3, deploy AI at the constraint. If routing is the bottleneck, deploy AI-powered routing that auto-assigns requests by type, priority, and team capacity. If processing is a constraint, deploy AI there. And step 4, measure cycle time, not individual productivity. The question isn't how fast can one person work, it's how fast does the whole request move from start to finish. That's a fundamentally different way of thinking, and it produces fundamentally different results. C is for convert. How do you get buy-in for each approach? Individual optimization sells itself. Give someone a tool that makes their work easier and they'll use it. No workshops required, no change management. It's the path of least resistance. On the other hand, team optimization requires leadership. You're asking people to change how they collaborate, not just how they work. That means new processes, new meetings, new accountability. And people push back on that, not because they're lazy, because they've been rewarded for individual output their entire career. Consider the case where a top performer actively sabotaged a team-level AI deployment. I'm serious. She was the fastest analyst on the team. Individual metrics through the roof. When leadership introduced AI-powered workflow management that distributed work by capacity instead of first come, first served, she lost her edge. Under the old system, she cherry-picked the easiest request and crushed her numbers, while her teammates got the complex stuff. Under the new system, work was distributed by actual complexity and availability. Her individual numbers dropped. Her teammates' numbers went up. The team's overall output improved significantly. She went to HR and actually said that the new system was unfair. Unfair. The system that made the team better was unfair to the person who was gaming the old one. That's a conversion problem you need to see coming. So the conversion lesson, individual optimization creates heroes. Team optimization creates systems. And some heroes don't want to become part of a system. D is for delivery. How do you deliver sustained improvement? Here's the sequence I recommend. Phase 1, diagnose the bottleneck. We talked about that before, but before you deploy anything, answer one question. Is the primary constraint individual speed or system coordination? If people are fast but the team is slow, you have a coordination problem. If the team is well coordinated but individuals are slow, you have a capacity problem. Phase 2, match the AI investment to the constraint. Capacity problem, individual tools. Coordination problem, AI workflow. routing, scheduling, handoff automation, workload balancing, those types of things. Phase 3, measure the right thing. If you deployed individual tools, measure individual output and team output. If individual output goes up, but team output stays flat, you've confirmed that the bottleneck was never individual speed. If you deployed team tools, measure cycle time and completion rates. If cycle time drops, the investment is working even if no individual feels faster. Here's the one-liner I give every client. Measure what the customer experiences, not what the employee produces. The customer doesn't care that your analyst writes reports 3 times faster. The customer cares that they got their answer in 2 days instead of 5. Work backwards from that outcome. The AI investment should shorten the distance between request and result. Where that distance is longest is where you invest. So here's the call. Individual optimization is a trap when the bottleneck is the system. Faster people inside a broken workflow just create more expensive chaos, more output, more queues, more frustration, but the same result. Team optimization is a trap when the work is genuinely independent. If there are no handoffs and no dependencies, just make individuals faster and get out of the way. The diagnostic is simple. Look at where work sits. If it sits with people, they're slow, they need help, invest in individuals. If it sits with people in queues, in inboxes, and waiting states, invest in the team. And if you're not sure, here's the test. Take your fastest individual out of the system. If team output barely changes, the bottleneck isn't individual speed, it's the system. Stop celebrating individual productivity numbers that don't translate to organizational results. A faster car in worse traffic isn't progress, it's noise. And you know what we do with the noise on this show. So download your free binary decision scorecard. The link is in the description. Use it to diagnose whether your AI investment should target individuals or teams before you deploy another tool nobody coordinates around. And smash that like button and subscribe. Seriously, every time you do, it helps an operator somewhere escape a productivity theater meeting. Save a life, hit subscribe. In the next episode, AI for new hires or veterans? Who adapts to AI faster and who should get tools first? The answer is going to surprise you. This is Binary Business. All signal, no noise.